Hello, everyone, and welcome to Non-Canon File number 19. I'll be your host today, Patrick, and joining me today are my three co-hosts. Starting with my right, we have...
Jonathan.
That looked like your left, sorry. But that's your right. No, for some reason you said... I'm Wenzel. Hey.
We're on the clock, Wenzel.
I'm sorry.
My name Colt, and I am...
And we also have another special guest.
I'm staring at a cat.
We have Zelda. Zelda's in the room.
Mm-hmm. Oh, hey.
Yeah, because this episode, we're not in Tanner's house. You also notice Tanner and Cody aren't here. They're disposed of right now because they're hanging off the side of a building.
Yeah, disposed of. We disposed of them.
Yes. So we are currently...
Can't get distracted. I just pet the cat once. No more distractions.
So we're bringing it to you live from inside my house, which hasn't been seen since episode 50.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Yep. At least with this house, there's animals. And I love it.
So if throughout the podcast you'll hear us just cooing and cuddling, this is because there's two kitty cats roaming around, and they will be mentioned throughout. But today, like we said, this is a non-canon file. We'll be discussing our seasonal anime. This is the summer anime review, and we have 6 anime series we'll be talking about today. And the first one we'll be discussing is Lord El-Melloi II's Case Files, Rail Zeppelin, Grace Note.
Fuck.
It's a long
Is that the actual name of
That
that
is
show?
the actual title of this anime.
Fuck
it's a
me.
very long title.
And this anime is a continuation of the Fate Zero series, and this is a follow-up.
It's a Fate series?
That's what it says.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck, I didn't know.
Yeah, it
I
is.
just put it in because I thought the title was interesting and the animation looked pretty.
Yeah, this is a follow-up takes place 10 years after the Fourth Holy Grail Wars, and it centers around the life of Waver Velvet, a scholar and a mage, and his journey within the magical world of aristocracy and academia.
Ooh. The only one I didn't watch.
So I know Colt and I think we were the only ones that got to see this. And what did you think of it, Colt?
I thought it was very fun. Like the animation, the art style was real pretty. I thought it looked familiar, but it wasn't familiar enough that I could just point it out instantly. But now that you said Fate, I can definitely see it's very similar to the Fate shows that I've seen parts of. But the anime itself was actually pretty interesting. I enjoyed the main character, the professor guy. I don't remember. Elohim?
Like his personal name is Waver Velvet, but after the Holy Grail Wars, he ascended to a place of prominence in this magical aristocracy, and he goes by the name of Lord El-Melloi II.
El-Melloi.
Malloy.
I thought it was really good. I really enjoyed it. It was a little slow at first because it was just getting into the characters and showing people off, but it started to really pick up whenever they were trying to find the cat murderer.
Because Waver Velvet, he's a very sort of like standoffish, stuffy individual. I don't know anything about the Fate Zero series, but just from when we picked up during the episode, that he still has some lingering effects from the war. There was a person he looked up to who apparently had passed away over the course of the war, and he's sort of like filling in their footsteps. And there's a bit of like this aristocrat like power play going on. Like he has been given like a position in the aristocracy as a mage, as someone who's ascended to this place after the war. But he comes to find out it's sort of like a hollow position, and there's all these other players trying to like make their own move within this giant government. And the story takes place in this magical university where he's a professor, and he's accompanied by a young ward, a girl he has found. He has some sort of unusual past with, and she kind of helps him sort of open up a little bit when she discovers a cat. And over the course, he comes out of his shell, and through this cat, he sort of becomes more kind and empathetic. But the cat is killed because apparently they're all like I said, all these forces are kind of conspiring against him.
There's a cat right there.
For years, she's thinking about cat murders.
As she stares off into the void.
Yeah, she was looking at her.
As she walks away, is her low
sagging
hanging cat breasts just sway in the wind.
They're really swinging by. Where?
That's the second cat.
The other cat's running through the blinds, doing her own thing.
And because the reason why they're hunting down this person because they put a curse on the cat as a way to get close to Waver Velvet, and he picks up his young ward and two of his students to go find the criminal, and through a daring card chase, because even though this world takes place with like magic and sigils and seals, it's also kind of modern day London.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck? Why is there a sports car? What's happening?
Kind of like Harry Potter.
I guess because Velvet's in like this Maserati, and he's like chasing down like this kind of like cocaine lord with like his open shirt and like gold chain, and he has like a big briefcase of cash, and he's like, haha, I got that Velvet guy. And then Velvet's in like his Aston Martin, just Fast and the Furious shit, just driving up to him, and his three like magical sidekicks start kicking over. One kid has a supernatural magic sense of smell.
And he's like smelling his master. He says he smells his master. He tells him he smells real good.
I can smell his ball sweat.
and then
smells soupy.
And then the smelly kid, his brother has like an animal magic that allows him sort of to grow like magical appendages. So even though they're in the world's fastest sports car, the kid jumps out of the car, grows some magic cat arms and legs, and just like catches up to the conspirator and just slices through the car with his magic.
Okay,
and
wait a
that
minute.
animation was absolutely fucking beautiful. The car is CG, not the best CG, but the actual animation of his legs running along that road to cut the car in half was really fucking beautiful.
I'd have to see it, but like that doesn't. The car's obviously faster. Why the fuck would you get out?
Well,
He ran faster. It's not like it was obviously faster if he ran faster.
Well, I mean, yeah, but like that's just because it's fucking anime and it's exaggerative.
I mean, it's magic.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
because they have to have a moment within the show that everybody shows off their abilities. And this kid's like, I'm animal magic. And you guys are like, let me just slow down so you can just take off with your magic cheetah legs.
But wait a minute. If you say it's magic, but he's using the properties of animals, then he has to be true to the animal properties he's borrowing.
No, he doesn't. It's magic, and it's an anime.
And also, he has a sports car.
God, I wish you would just stop for once in your life just being so fucking mean to me, okay?
No, fuck you. Hey.
Oh! Why would you do that? Sorry. Little Midsummer bit for you. Go see it.
Midsummer's coming out, or has been out, so go check that out.
It's a fun ride. Don't watch it with your parents or with your children.
Yeah, definitely.
If you have sensitivities to violence, like explicit gore and explicit sex and nudity, maybe look at the reviews before you head out to the theater.
Yeah, if you have some alone time, watch it.
Oh yeah, go in a theater. Nobody's there. Do that.
Or go with a theater that has a ton of people in it, because I bet it's even more fun. Because I mean, our theater was pretty fun.
People laughing the whole way through.
Yeah. I mean, it was pretty nice. But back to anime.
Back to the anime. They catch the conspirator, and this is actually episode 0 was the first one released. So it's a bit of like, I guess, a prequel to like how it actually gets started. So even though I don't know a thing about the Fate Zero series, it was definitely intriguing. It had nice animation. I thought the backgrounds of the scenes were very well.
They were super detailed.
Like you see the grain of the wood and everything's just like very well done. Just imagine like all the Ivy League universities and like England, and you sort of get the idea about how all this is constructed. But also imagine like stained glass windows and magic seals kind of floating around. That's essentially what it is.
Oh yeah, like modern day London.
So yeah.
Okay.
So that's the first one, and the next series.
Before we go, Tanner usually does his thing where he's like, "Would you continue watching this?" Personally, no, probably not. Mainly because I don't know jack shit about the Fate series. It was very interesting. It was the first thing I've ever seen about the Fate series that actually made me a little bit more interested in it. But I probably need to go watch something else before I jump to this because I don't know what the fuck anything is.
From what I know of the Fate Stay Night, Fate Zero, whatever the fuck it's called, it's very interconnected.
Yeah.
And while like it seems like each show is kind of segregated, it's also like interconnected, so you won't necessarily get.
Yeah. Yeah, I heard, like, whenever they announced this, I heard it was, like, a pretty big fucking deal. And, I mean, I didn't watch it, but I feel like just for the sake of, like, what, like, we had on our list and stuff, I have to check it out just to see what, you know, what you guys talked about. But I not having any knowledge of Fate Zero or anything, it's just, I don't know. I don't know what if I would ever watch it.
I'll probably jump onto the first episode to see what it's like, and if I'm not really feeling it, I'll probably no.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't think I'll get on that.
She's just right on your notes.
Zelda's trying to make a bed out of my notes right now. You can't sleep on the show notes, Zelda.
Oh, she's tired.
She sleeps all day.
18 hours a day, Winslow.
Yeah, tired.
Let's get started on
It's
her
very
fifth-
tiring to be tired.
Her fifth nap.
Oh.
But one last word on El-Melloi. Like you said, it looked well done, but I don't really have any intention of following through with it because I can feel it just wasn't a lot there for me to interest me, even as someone who has no prior knowledge of the property. But if you are interested in the Fate Zero series, by all means check it out and let us know.
Yeah. I think you would like it if you are into the Fate series because it was pretty good.
You know, maybe we always have this bit where we want to get a mascot for AYCH, and now that I think about it, we'd probably be super just fucking distracted because I can't stop looking at this old lady that's sitting right next to Pat. She literally just slumped down, and I just see Pat like move over because she was just so heavy.
Because as I was talking, I felt her just plop, just like drop all of her weight. Right?
And when she did, she let out a little meow.
Yeah, it's oh man.
Back to anime.
Yeah, sorry, we're getting really distracted. Maybe
You're getting distracted, and you're distracting everyone else.
Cole, I'm gonna need you to calm the fuck down.
Missed. I don't know.
Why would you do that?
I don't know what to say to you, Cole. Mister, like, the only good thing about Given was the dog.
We're not there yet. Shut
I
up.
know,
Well,
but fuck you.
Speaking of Given, we're going to talk about Given.
Okay, let's go.
Well, Given is the second anime, and Given is about a irritable high school musician named Uenoyama, and how his life changes when he meets an unusual young man carrying a red Gibson guitar.
I loved it. It was like just that first bit of where he tries to go find a place to nap, and that kid is just sitting there with his guitar, and he's just super sad because the strings are broken and he won't move. So the main character just gets so pissed and changes out the fucking strings. I love that because it's like there's times where like I'm trying to sleep or trying to take a nap and somebody asks me to do something, I just get super mad, do it super efficiently, and then I just go back to sleep. And I love this. I love the guitar playing as well. Like the music bit was very good.
Yeah, the music parts are real good, and the dog parts are real good.
Yeah.
But from like, do you want to give a little
synopsis or well, you did, like, you introduced it.
To go a bit more in depth, the story opens with the young man with the guitar. He's in his apartment, and he goes to leave, and at the dog bit, he has a very fluffy little dog that yips as he says goodbye, and he goes off to school. And then it cuts to the main character, Uenoyama, who's like, he's very irritable. He's very like, I don't want to be here. I'm just out of it. And he's trying to get away from all the people that are pestering him because he's just kind of in a weird funk in his life. He doesn't know what he wants to do. High school's hard. And like we said, he meets this kid who's just sort of lounging in his usual napping space, which is apparently an abandoned stairwell in this massive high school. What I thought was weird until they revealed that Uenoyama was actually a musician. He's just like, I'm so irritated, I'm just gonna run and find guitar strings and just restring this guitar. I was like, did he just know how to do that? Just a random kid in the street?
Yeah, gosh, it was really good. Just like he had the tools with him and everything.
And then he plays the guitar a little bit, and the new kid, he's just kind of entranced by it. It's like, oh, please teach me, and he pesters him about it. He just literally follows him around like a little dog.
Yeah, that's something that they joke about during the show, is like how the main character, he goes to his band practice because he's in a band, of course, because he's essentially like a guitar prodigy, and he goes to his band practice, and the kid follows him, and then the drummer was like, who's this? And he's like, I brought a lost puppy with me. And they're just like, what does that mean? But it's very good. I know Cole didn't really care for that, but there's those like cute moments like that of like, I never I don't.
It's yaoi trash.
I mean, I don't see this, so like me seeing this like for the first time, I enjoyed it very much.
After you watch this, you will have watched 90% of yaoi anime.
Maybe that's all I need.
I mean, go ahead. Everybody needs their first one, and then once you watch that first one, you'll not want to watch anymore.
I do think it's interesting though that like they just straight up name drop like these big companies: Gibson, Fender, Marshall. But I do think there was a part in there where he's listening to music, the main character, and he listens to what appears to be the most recent, not most recent, the one that came before the most recent Arctic Monkeys album was AM, and he holds it, but I don't think it said Arctic Monkeys. I think it said Artistic Monkeys or something.
I thought it said Arctic Monkeys. Plus, if they have, I guess, the rights to use like Gibson and Fender, like these name brand names on these like instruments, and I guess they got the clearance to maybe use, the names of the bands. And plus, this is Japan, so like, I guess American copyrights don't quite extend to Japan.
Yeah.
If like in JoJo they have all these characters and things named after explicit bands or artists,
Mm-hmm.
they change when they come back to the States.
Yeah.
That's the land of copyrights.
Yeah. I mean, the only reason why, because like I said, I thought it said artistic, but like immediately just from the color of the album and then the font, I was like, oh, that's fucking Arctic Monkeys. But yeah, I really enjoyed this. There's just a really good moment where the main character is because he is having trouble finding direction in his life. Whenever he starts doing band practice, which is another good moment because two of the band members, the bassist and the drummer, are both like, we have to impress this fucking kid, and they go pretty much all out. And then the guitarist, he goes out all out too, and it's just like the detail in like him changing chords and his finger movements is very good, especially on the basses as well. And yeah, I really enjoyed it.
I feel like when during the band scene, especially when Uyeyama is playing guitar, he was CG in certain moments, so I feel like they had like mocap on.
Maybe, most likely, and then also with the instruments as well. Those were CG definitely, but they still looked very good.
It's very well done. I feel like it's just under what we saw like Carol and Tuesday.
Yeah.
Carol and Tuesday's peak,
Like
at the moment. That's not a peak, but
Yeah, I feel like it's just right under it, but like. Honestly though, watching them and like seeing how like beautifully done, like I mean they really did good with the detail on like the Telecaster and then the Gibson. I know it's a hollow body. It's
I know what guitar you're talking about.
Yeah,
I can't think of the name.
But
of it.
they look so beautiful. And then watching them play and the movements and stuff, it made me want to play. I was like, fuck, I want to just whip out the guitar and just start playing again.
Do it.
Yeah, do it.
So overall, I did enjoy the show. It is very clearly setting up to be a like a boys' love anime where it's very obvious that the Uyeyama, the guitarist, and the boy he comes in contact with, they'll get together in some way. Whether or not it's like one of those like gay baiting shows like Free or something, but then they may actually get together in the end, and if so, that's good. But where it stands in like the hollows of like yaoi anime, who knows? But it was a fine show. I'm not sure if I'll pick it back up, but maybe something I'll check back in on to see how it is.
I would like to see the second episode, but I mean I say I really like it, but also then again like it's not just something I would want to put on my like daily schedule or weekly schedule.
Yeah, like it's a nice enough story, but it's not like I guess super compelling.
Yeah, especially with what the rest of the stuff on this list. So.
Yeah, there's definitely something that's a bit more energetic.
Yeah,
in terms of storytelling and visuals.
And the ending is absolutely amazing because it's a Pomeranian just being a Pomeranian.
It's literally the dog we see in the intro, but it's just walking down a road.
He's just walking around, just chasing the butterfly. Because I remember I saw Colton Winslow talk about how good Given's anime intro or outro was, and I was like, okay. But then literally when I saw the dog just like being cute walking around, I just said, oh my god. Just just like a quiet just gasp.
Yeah, exactly.
How adorable it was.
I mean, I was flabbergasted.
So starting with this episode, I say every season of anime we watch, we have a cutest dog award, and it's going to this one.
Yeah, okay.
Obviously.
So.
Okay. Sorry, I keep scratching my throat. And I'm like doing it so close to the mic. I'm so sorry if you're hearing it. I'm trying not to.
I'm wondering why you're sticking your fingers down your throat.
That's not
It's
how
pretty fucking weird.
Okay, that's not how it's.
His throat sits on the inside.
God, I can't. Okay, I can't stop. Go.
All right, the third anime we'll be discussing is Granbelm. It's a story about a young girl who, in a moment of absent-mindedness, results in her being transported to a world of magic, mages, and mechs under the light of a red full moon.
I mean, the mech designs are they remind me a lot of Gundam SD. And if you don't know what Gundam SD is, it's the super deformed, that's what the SD stands for, Gundams, where they're tiny little baby versions of the big-ass murdering Gundams, but it's made for kids, so it's the cutesy version.
You know, when I first saw these, because I didn't know what anime they were for, and that's what I originally thought these were, Gundam SDs. But like they're not, like they're also less detailed. But I'm not really a fan of them.
But the thing is, they were less detailed, but they were fully animated. They weren't CG.
Yeah, that's true.
They weren't CG, and the animations were actually really good.
It
was like non-stop action, though. It was like non-stop action, and there really wasn't much story other than a few Egypt names.
Yeah, there was
Egyptian names.
There was a part in there where they have to explain, because this girl is just, she doesn't know what the fuck's going on, and then
I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on either, and then you have these people in mechs. They're like, who the fuck is this? And they try to kill her, and it's just like, what the fuck is going on? Why are there robots? And then they're all like, what are robots? And it like doesn't make any fucking sense why you wouldn't know what a fucking robot is. But then later we find out that everybody's from pulled from different worlds, I think, or at least from different worlds. I'm pretty sure.
I thought they're all from this one like magical world, but the gimmick of the show is that all these you know prepubescent girls are in this like monthly tournament to sort of like gain access to this well of magic, because apparently in this setting thousands of years ago, magic was everywhere. It was prolific. Everyone had access to it. But over time, human nature, they used it for warfare. So 7 of the strongest wizards got together and contained the entirety of the world's magic inside of this like floating castle island. Yeah. And then what little magic remains sort of is contained within these mechs. These sort of like I said, very short mechs. Just to give you an idea, they kind of look like a normal torso of like a Gundam or mech, but it has like stubby little arms and legs, but they have like guns and lances and any sort of weapon paraphernalia. And basically once a month at the start of the full moon, all these girls are chosen to wield these mechs and fight in combat, and the winner of the monthly tournament gains access to that magic for that month.
Yeah, and it's like,
I didn't catch any of that when I watched it. I don't know what the fuck I watched then. I mean, I watched it, but I don't remember any of this.
Yeah. I mean, I will say that is a criticism I would lobby against the show, is that there is a lot of action, but it's super frenetic. It's like it's just constantly like lasers and blasts and jumping from one mech to fight the next. So any sort of plot kind of gets lost in just like the chaos of it all.
Yeah, like I said, the only time that you get plot is like when after all the big fighting's done, there's a moment where the main character interacts with the only girl who was actually trying to who wasn't aggressive towards her. She was actually trying to protect her. That's the only part you get story where she discusses everything. But even then, like I fucking zoned out. It was just, it was just, I don't know. it was just really boring. And I mean, I know the island in the middle has its own name. It's like Maginatus or something. But yeah, and also all the girls, they are all ancestors of the mages who sealed up all that magic. So anybody who gets sucked into the that world, they're all that one of them. Each of them are ancestors of the 7 mages. So yeah, and this girl, the main girl, and the girl that she was with, they both share names that represent the moon.
Because the main girl, her name is Mangetsu, and the girl that saves her and sort of introduces her to the setting of the world, her name is Shingetsu.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the names mean, but I know in Japan they have a specific word for all 30 phases of the moon.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, Zangetsu. Bleach.
Oh yeah. But yeah, and then the main girl, she gets her own mech, which I've seen so many times, and now I know where it's from. It's from this anime, and she ends up killing. All the mechs also have their own abilities and magic as well. Like the Shingetsu, her mech has guns, and then the mech that she was fighting has like some kind of axe, spear, halberd with like, and it uses a lot of different like she uses a lot of different seals or whatever, and then this one girl that was attacking the main girl, Mangetsu, she uses some type of like boomerangs, I think.
Boomerangs and like wind and
owls. Yeah.
There's a lot of different motifs these all mechs have.
And she ends up fucking annihilating her.
Because the main girl, of course, she's the main character girl, so she gets the most powerful thing. But he summons this lightsaber and shoots like the biggest fucking energy beam in the world, and just like carves out a 15-mile gash in the world.
Yeah, it's
pretty OP.
And we've seen so many powerful attacks beforehand, and it's like you get this, and it's like fuck. How can you get higher than this?
Well, we're about to find out.
Yeah, we're about to find out, because the first episode leaves sort of on a cliffhanger, because she kills the I'm assuming she kills the owl girl, and then her sphere or whatever she's contained in lifts up and goes to the magic island well thing. So
I guess like that's like once they've all been defeated, they go get lock in place. I guess there are all keys, and once they're all 7 are assembled, they unlock the magic island.
Yeah, which makes you wonder, like, how's Shingetsu and Mangetsu gonna come down? Because also a lot of the girls develop alliances as well. So
Hunger Games.
Pretty much. That's why I thought. I was like, this is Hunger Games.
I will agree with Wenzel in the fact that I wasn't like super compelled by it. Like I did like the idea of like it's magical girl genre, but with mechs, which is
new,
which I don't think I've seen personally.
Yeah. Yeah. I wasn't really too blown away by it, but it's just it's not bad. It's just I won't probably keep up with it.
No. Like I'll watch the animation tidbits that's posted to Twitter, the good ones. Because this anime, I feel like it's gonna be good for some nice animation.
Yeah, there was moments where like when they're fighting, it was just super slick animation. It was really good. But other than that, story wise and just and again the mechs themselves, it's like they're very much Gundam SD, and there's not really detailed. Not really detailed at all, and it's just like,
which I guess it made it easier to animate. But
yeah,
I like highly detailed mechs.
And I'm sure this will be one of the series that'll have like a plethora of model kits, and if that suit your aesthetic, that suit your style, by all means dive right in.
Yeah.
So if you're into magical girl anime, if you're into mechs, give this one a look. See.
Sure. Yeah.
And maybe you'll like it a bit more than us, and if you do, that's fantastic. We hope you enjoy it.
Yeah, Pat, maybe that's a little too nice. We kind of don't care if you. No, I'm just kidding. No, if you enjoy it, you enjoy it.
All right. The next series we're talking about is Fire Force, from the creator of Soul Eater.
Oof. And
Fire Force takes place in a world where human beings live in constant fear of spontaneous human combustion.
Which is our world right now.
Which is a very real valid fear.
But what makes the phenomenon so different in this world is not only do people burst into flame at any moment, but they become these mindless, raging monsters called infernals. And it's up to a group of highly trained combatants known as the Fire Force to put out the fires, defeat the infernals, and discover the secret of this combustion epidemic.
Yeah, and wow, it looked sick.
It looks absolutely beautiful. The world that they're set in it feels almost steampunkish.
Yeah, that's something like besides the color palette, like there's like it feels like it
Very industrial.
yeah, very industrial, but also like very much like influenced by like Catholicism because part of the like part of this whole thing with the Infernals and the society is like it's very much religious, but they don't worship God. They worship the god called Sol, which is just, you know, sun. And but like there's also stained glass windows and there's a lot of like religious
Iconography.
Yes, thank you.
And literally one of the main characters is a nun.
Yeah, literally one of the main characters is a nun, and every time they're about to kill an Infernal and they know they're about to kill it, they have to start a prayer. And yeah, and it's very interesting. And also the color palette's very like reds, darkish, autumn, like not autumn, but like very darkish reds, colors and stuff. Yeah.
It definitely has comparing to the creator's other series, Soul Eater, it's very much a more, I don't want to say subdued, but you know, there's like a really fanciful, idiosyncratic design in Soul Eater, and this one definitely hews a bit more realistic and sort of real world in its like environment and set design, and plus for me this was an interesting change of opinion for me, because I remember reading the Fire Force manga, being compelled by the general premise, but for whatever reason the manga just didn't click with me. But watching the anime, I'm very much invested now.
Yeah,
because there's a level of animation that is very high in this show, and it makes me very interested to see where it goes. And it was like Demon Slayer for me last season, where the manga just kind of felt like an average shonen, but just the level of skill that goes in the anime, it completely changed my opinion on the series. And
yeah, every time I was always tempted to look at the Fire Force manga, but like I don't know, it just always fell flat for me. But like, fuck.
You couldn't see that, but
Zelda was primed to hop on the podcast
and
table.
literally it took Jonathan and Pat to fucking use both hands to hold her down from launching her.
She was about to like smash on the table, knock some stuff over.
Okay, Fire Force. Yeah, it looked really cool, especially the main character. His name is Shinru, and
was it Shinra? Like,
I thought it was like Shinra, like
the god of destruction. Is that Shinra?
That's Shiva.
Shiva.
I know.
I was thinking more like the corporation from Final Fantasy VII.
Shinru, I think his name is spelled Shinru.
And but his gimmick is that he wants to become a Fire Force combatant, because when he was a child he was sort of blamed for the deaths of his mother and baby brother due to there was an infernal attack. But he has the ability to control his flame, not only control flames, but generate them as well. Because in this setting, there's the Infernals, which is called the first generation fire users, because they're just mindless, out of control monsters. There's people who are second generation fire users who can manipulate flames, but they cannot produce them on their own. And Shinra, the main character, he's third generation, and he can produce these flames. He can manipulate them. And he attacks by producing flames from the soles of his feet. And sort of he propels himself to the air. He can fly. He can produce like these very dynamic, powerful kicks.
And it looks so badass.
It looks absolutely
like
beautiful.
there's this first scene where we are introduced to him, which honestly, if he didn't have any, if his eyes weren't special or his teeth, he honestly would not stick out, because he looks pretty basic.
Because he has like red eyes and sharp teeth, and he also has a nervous tick. Whenever he feels intimidated or he feels scared, he gets a nervous smile. And the reason why so many people are sort of prejudiced against him, because he has, like, whenever he's afraid, he has this like very sort of menacing grimace, and people think he deliberately started the fire that killed his family. And he's been working his whole life to overcome this stigma in the community, and to prove to other people that he's not a monster, that he can be,
a hero.
A hero.
Yeah, which is what he says. He joins Fire Force because he's like, I want to be a hero, because whenever his mother was raising him, she put a little cape on him, and he was like, I want to be a hero, and like, she she was very supportive, and it was like that was when he smiled. But then after his mother gets killed and his brother, which he nobody knows that it was an infernal attack. Like everybody thinks that it was because he finally developed his powers of being a third generation pyrokinetic. That it was him, but like he knows that there was something else in the flame with him. And but yeah, and just that smile is just like, I don't know. I really enjoy his the story, the character's story. I feel like it's very much more compelling, and it's much more interesting too, because it's like, or this story in general for Fire Force, because it's like, why the fuck are people just bursting into flames like that? That's not good. And like also the intro is fucking fantastic, especially like you get little, I guess, tidbits of like what are probably to be future infernals that they'll probably fight,
and future characters
as well. But like the infernal designs look cool. Like, I mean, you think like what more can you do with guys on fire? You can do a lot apparently.
Because like the first infernal Shinra and his team fight is sort of like this long, lanky woman. She was formerly the wife of a foreman in this factory, and then she just turned into a monster. And that's something that really comes up throughout the series. It's just like this paranoia that literally anyone at any moment can turn into this monster, and there's nothing anything can do about it.
Yeah, you can only kill them
because they can't be reverted back to a person. They have to be killed.
Mm-hmm. And they're very much reliant on their religion as well to help them, like, bring them at peace.
It's like we said, because it's a 5-member team. There's their captain who has no powers. He just has like his own
like a cool ass pile driver, like fist gauntlet.
Yeah,
it has this big like bunker buster kind of like equipment where it just drives a big spike
into their core.
And he's the captain. He has no power. He just uses his own physical strength. He has like this kind of almost like a knight's mask. Faceplate puts over during the fights. There's a girl, she they call her the witch because she can manipulate magic. She has a little witch's hat. There's the second, the command.
She's buff as shit.
Yeah,
she's fucking buff.
She's pretty burly. There's the second command. He's no nonsense glasses guy.
He's second generation as well.
Yeah, he can use his power, but he hates using his power, so he just uses like guns and has machine guns and pistols, and he just like unloads on the monsters.
Yeah, which like I feel like if you're fighting fires, I feel like that would just exacerbate the problem.
Yeah, like
instead of making it better. But no, he's just like da-da-da-da-da.
Which I mean, it looks cool.
And rounding out the team is the nun, Sister Iris, and the nun sort of like they don't have any powers, but they're sort of like there as the liaison between the civilians and the fire force, because like they use their their religious training to sort of like appease the people, sort of like help them, and also sort of like pray for the soul of the person that they have to essentially put down.
Yeah, and no, it was a badass show. Yeah, especially that final fight between Shinryu and the factory worker's wife, Infernal.
As soon as he kicked into overdrive with his heel, like I was hype as shit whenever he was getting his heel flame fired up. But as soon as he kicked off, it was instant chills.
Yeah, and like you can see his face, like the immense like pressure, I want to say, or like from him, like the force.
He's going G-force, baby.
Yeah, the force from him like picking up speed. It looked so good, and him just like kicking her right in the fucking chest, in the core. And it's just so funny too, because it's like the show's literally fighting fire with fire, and I love it.
One thing I did like about the show is like when he's like Shinra's like super hype and just ready to go, kind of like a typical shonen. But as soon as he gets to the actual firefighting for the first time, he completely has like a panic attack. Yeah, because he flashes back to when his mother died in that fire, and he's like, oh, and I feel like that's something you don't see too often, like where the main character just like has like, oh, their enthusiasm carries them a long way, but when they actually get to the thick of it, they realize, oh, I don't really have much in ways of coping with this.
Yeah, but then when he finally gets out of it and he finally shows his abilities, it's like, holy shit, this is a third generation pyrokinetic. And I really like the team dynamic too as well. Like whenever he does have that panic attack, it's like the captain is like, if you're held down, we're all held down. So come on, we gotta go. And it's like, it's just, I don't know. I really enjoy them. I really enjoy the captain, buff dude.
He's just like, even when he's interviewing, he's just like constantly
training,
like pumping iron and like working out. And it's like, yeah, I'm doing my paperwork, but also just like ab crunches or something.
Yep.
Also, machine gun guy, no horny allowed. You
No,
cannot be
no.
horny in his area.
Which, I'm sorry. Show horny.
Oh yeah.
This is created by Soul Eater, so expect some fan service.
There's literally a scene where the only two females on the team are taking a shower together.
So
Nobody else, just them.
So if you know that, know what you're walking into. And one last thing about Fire Force, the outro is a gorgeously animated. It's done in a different style and a different color palette, and it basically sort of gives a backstory to the nun Iris, how she was part of a convent, and apparently everyone in her convent burst into flames and became infernals, and she was a sole survivor. And then the Fire Force took her in as their I guess their religious
Nun
artifact.
priestess, yeah, it's really good. Check it out.
So as for the table, we all what's the overall feeling?
keeping up. Yeah, keeping up with it.
Whatever. Fuck, it's so good.
I'm interested. I'm not as hype as everybody else, but pretty cool overall.
Okay.
All right, going on is the next series we're discussing is Dr. Stone,
Hell yeah.
which Dr. Stone is about a high school genius named Senku Nishigami, and him dealing with the after effects of a mysterious event that causes the entire human race to turn into stone statues. And when he wakes up 3,700 years in the future, he has to use the power of his ingenuity and science to bring humanity out of the Stone Age and back into the modern era.
But you're forgetting about his dumb friend that screams a lot.
Taiju Oki, his friend who has no brains, but he's full of heart and vigor.
Yep.
He is very lovable.
Yeah. No, like them together, they're dynamic, and then just seeing like it's the best besties, best friendship ever. Like, man, like at first when you're introduced to Senko, it's like, man, it's like he seems like a dick, but no, he's like all for like Taiju, and Taiju's all for Senku, and I love it.
But they have a very like sincere bond and dynamic, and Senku is very abrasive. He's like he's sort of like that, you know. Think about scientists, like he's so smart. He's just an asshole. He knows everything, but Senku cares more than he lets on, and like Taiju kind of keeps him grounded, like, because if he didn't have that friend to sort of bring out his humanity, he probably wouldn't be who he was. He probably just cold, sterile person locked away, and like Taiju helps sort of they balance each other out. They help each other, and Taiju he was before the event he was going to confess his love to his
Yuzihara,
Yuzu Riha.
Oh, Yuzihara.
It doesn't quite fall off the tongue, but but he goes to confess, and then the event happens, and he shields her, but everybody turns to stone, and this is kind of a grim montage of, you know, what would happen if literally everyone on Earth turned to stone. Like cars crash, people fall down, airplanes fall out of the sky and crash. Like this pandemonium when everyone just kind of just drops dead in their tracks.
Yeah, this is something I talked about, was like how triumphant the music sounds. Like I love it because it's so like horrifying what's happening, but then also it's like showing like nature it's reclaiming like what it lost, and it's like the music is like triumphant of that, and I really enjoyed that. Like, just, I don't know, the triumphant horror, I guess, of it.
I mean, the overall score for the for this anime is very good. There's a lot of great musical overtures.
Oh yeah,
and if there's an OST release for Dr. Stone, I would definitely like to listen to it because there's a lot of good tracks in this show.
Yeah, there was actually a specific sound that played whenever the event happened, where it was like a bunch of like a chorus, and it was just like, it reminded me of something. I think it reminded me of Evangelion. I'm not sure. It was very buzzing. I don't know how to explain it. It was very good though. And but yeah, no, it's a very fun show because of, like, you know, on the surface it's like, it's not really like as epic as most shonen, because it's like it's about two dudes at first trying to restart humanity. It's like there's no epic battles with that, but no, like when you watch it, it's like something. It's really something else, and it's really fun. Like that moment when Senku's like, "We're gonna restart civilization. We're gonna go back sprinting," and it's like we're going to be the Adam and Eve of this Stone Age civilization.
You say there's no epic battles, but I can definitely see some epic
well,
battles in the
I don't want to say anything.
because of the Stone High Schooler guy. I can definitely see some cool ass fights coming from him.
Because when taking it back a bit, when Taiju wakes up from his I guess petrification, he wakes up in a cave and he walks outside, and it's just like because 3,700 years have passed, like the entire landscape's been transformed. He walks out and it's basically just like this graveyard almost, like all these different statues stuck in the ground jutting off the cliffside, and it's kind of haunting just to see like all these people, their statues are broken, so like are these people dead? Because what makes it sort of scary in a way is that Taiju, he was completely awake and conscious for the last 3,700 years inside of his petrification. And, you know, the one thing that kept him sane was thinking about Yuzuriya and finding a way to get back to her. So he wanders through the wilderness, and he finds Yuzuriya, and she's still intact. But the tree that she was sort of braced up against, it's sort of grown up into this giant, almost like what you imagine Yggdrasil to, like this giant massive
ancestral tree.
And the tree's kind of grown around her to protect her. And then he swears to save her, but he sees a note carved into a tree, and it says follow the path down the stream, and he leads him to Senku, who woke up 6 months before. And you know he's built up himself an encampment. He's got like weapons. He's got pots, and like he's built up this like little mini sort of functioning life for himself. And now that Taiju has like his unlimited physical stamina, they can get started to help try to figure out what this mystery is and like kind of get the ball rolling.
Yeah, his untiring vocal cords, because anytime anything happens, he screams. Which this is something me and Pat talked about with the art styles, like how expressive the characters are and how just that's so awesome.
Yeah, it was like I was very much taken aback by the very first scene, because it's like Taiju just running in the door, and he has great eyebrow game.
Oh yeah.
But it's just like him with his intense face screaming. I'm like, I feel attacked.
I mean, it definitely comes from his fucking teeth. And like the fact that you could see his gums, like, again, very expressive, and I love it. And I love Senku's hair as well.
Senku he has full anime hair. They're straight up. He has like these really long bangs, but what makes it interesting, it has like this weird green fade to it.
Yeah, a gradient.
It's like a radish. Is that what that is? Like the
that does look like a
Is that a radish?
or
probably like a reverse like wild onion.
Yeah.
But what's really cool is it's different depending on which shot it's in,
Angle,
like how big and wide it is.
I love it. And there's something that's interesting about this. Like, I mean, I really don't know, but like we're first like shown like instances of things turning to stone, and the first thing that start turning to stone are birds, and they start just falling out of the sky, and but then later all the humans turn to stone, but the birds and humans are the only animals that get turned to stone. So that makes you wonder, like, was somebody experimenting with, you know, turning things to stone, and then finally the big jump was to do it to humans? And that's also something that Senku's like, this seems like fantasy, but we're going to defeat fantasy with science.
And I think what is interesting with this show is like Senku's like he's just this very like hard-laced like scientist type, and he's like, I'm going to use scientists to break down what's happening, and like this is for children. It's sort of like, you know, like how science is important, and like science can be interesting. And what I think what it really drives home with this show is like science is basically just this human diligence.
Yeah,
it's just persistence and follow through, and just like the work it takes bit by bit, because there's a montage where they like Senku has a theory that this liquid that's made from guano bat droppings can break down or dissolve the petrification, and so they spend a whole year refining their techniques, from like picking grapes to distill the alcohol to combine with the nitric acid that's in bat guano. And it's this long trial and error process for them.
It took like 6 months.
Yeah, because they started in spring and they went right through winter into next spring.
And that montage, it also has a great track music that I really enjoy.
It reminds me of royalty-free montage YouTube videos. Which isn't bad. I
No.
like the royalty-free music, some of it, because it gets overplayed to hell in the back. Because fuck. You can't watch a random science video without hearing that shit.
Make sure you speak in front of your mic.
Make sure I'm speaking.
And no, you gotta.
I hear you. I hear you. I'm right here.
Okay. But
I'm right here.
you. Wait, are you?
But I'm over there.
What the fuck?
Oh my god. Jonathan is over. How the fuck did he speak? I don't know how that
It's
picked
science.
up. Oh, but yeah, he's trying to. Why would you do that? He's trying to use the nitric acid and the brandy to make Nitol, which is a industrial solvent, and it's just, and whenever they're testing it on birds, and they finally break the petrification of one bird. I mean, Senku even says, like, this is what science is. It's just it's a lot of ass, big. He says
about big ass, lots of ass.
No, he says ass. He's like,
It's like pain in the ass.
pain in the ass work, and like, I mean, yeah, that's what it is, and it's like I mean, and there was even a moment at the very end, whenever the show ends, there's little subtitles or text that says, like, all the techniques and everything that's used can be done, foraging and stuff.
Yeah, because with Dr. Stone, they have it's basically a three person team. They have the artist and they have the writer. They also have a science consultant. And what I read, even though of course this is a shonen show, so things get a little kind of wacky, but like they said, basically all the science used in the show is sound.
Yeah.
So like, but it gets really impressive because they show how they make like how they make like primitive distillation process for the turn grape juice into wine and into brandy and to get the alcohol from it, and then just the scale from what they're able to do going forward, it's really impressive. And like, not to spoil anything, but it's definitely worth the watch because I can promise you it only gets wilder from here.
Yeah,
I'm here for it because it is out of all the ones we watched, real fucking good. It's not my favorite, but it's real fucking good.
Yeah, like after reading the first volume, I definitely want to keep up with the anime. It's really good.
And so this last note, I've been reading the manga since it started in 2017, and I've been just waiting for more people to catch on because this has been one of my favorites for the last couple of years, and just to see it finally happen and have it happen, and it's a great payoff, and with payoff, you really get the sense whenever they make a big accomplishment, they finally figure something out with their trial. You feel it, like it's been like with the expressions and just seeing the payoff, that sense really carries through to the audience.
Yeah.
To me anyway.
Yeah, I definitely feel it. But yeah.
All right.
Right.
And
Check out Dr. Stone.
Dr.
Check it out.
Stone.
It good shit.
And lastly, the final anime we'll be discussing is a series called Vinland Saga. Yes, Vinland Saga. And we will say that this is the only anime that's not on Crunchyroll. It seems to be, for the time being, exclusively on Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
And Vinland Saga is about a young boy named Thorfinn who lives in 11th century Iceland, and he has to reconcile his boyhood dreams of being an adventurer with the harsh realities of the Viking era.
Yeah, those first opening scenes of like the battle on the ships was
Some gory shit.
Gums-
Like, if you were not in the gore, you probably wouldn't like that because it was a lot of cutting people in half, like straight through, no resistance.
but I am here for it because it was insane.
Because I read the Vinland Saga manga up to a point, and it's a very good series. It's beautifully drawn, well paced, and when they're released in the States, they're released like three volumes in one book. So there's 21 volumes out in Japan, but there's like 10 or so volumes out in the States right now. And I very very much encourage you to pick this series up because it's a bit of a historical fiction story. Like Thorfinn, he's an original character, but his story kind of runs parallel to like actual historical events and sort of in Denmark, in England, and sort of like the conflict between the English and the Nordic people, and what they did change a little bit from the manga and anime is sort of like the order of the story, because in the manga it starts off with Thorfinn in his adolescence dealing with warfare, and in the anime they start with his childhood and sort of like him idolizing his father, Thor's, and sort of like he wants to be a great adventurer, he wants to go out, he wants to fight in battle, but Thor's, you can tell he's seen all the horror of the world. He's seen the terrible thing that war brings, and he's doing his best to sort of shield his family from that. But that comes to a head when an escaped slave wanders onto his property and almost dies of hypothermia, and then the slave's owner tries to collect him.
Yeah, but the slave dies anyway.
Well, yes.
Yeah, but I mean,
but the slave's owner was actually really fucking crazy. Like
Oh.
the way when he arrives to collect his slave, he gets mad and he's like, "Where's my slave? I know he's here. Just bring him out." And during doing so, he angers the townspeople. I can't remember if the guy was on his side or their side, but he straight up wraps that chain around that guy's head.
guy-
It was on his side.
That was on
Because
his side.
because he tried to attack the townspeople, right?
Yeah, because the man on his side, he kind of got carried away, and like, because you can't act out, to try to make a move without your leader telling you what to do, and so the man Halfdan, the leader, the owner of the slave, he retaliates against his man in a very vicious way.
wraps that chain on the guy's head and just
Yanks
pulls,
real
yanks
fucking
it, and just
hard.
completely shreds up his fucking face. He was still alive. It's
Yeah, at first I'm like, that fucker dead, and then he's just like writhing in the background the entire scene. I'm like, oh my god, that is fucked.
and the
You just
guy,
see like the gracious like chain track across the guy's face, and Halfdan holds up his chain. It's just like grease with like flesh chunks and hair, and
Yeah.
so just to give you an idea how intense this show gets, and it doesn't really let up. It has its moments of levity, of course, but like it's by and large a very dramatic series.
yeah, just Thor's the father fighting all those people, just cutting people in half, and whoever was with him, I don't remember his name.
You can find out more about that character. His name is Thorkel.
oh my god,
There's
Thor
so many
kill.
Thors.
So many Thors.
Well, the reason for that makes sense because
Yeah.
Thor is very important to the Nordic people, and it was very common for men of that age to be named after Thor in some fashion.
No, it makes sense. But he just swings his axe once, cuts the what is it?
The mast of the ship,
mast of
and
the ship.
everybody behind it clean in half.
Yeah, cuts them all clean in half, which is anime, but really fucking good and really very very dramatic too, because there's a moment where Thor stabs a guy and the guy's like, "I'm sorry, Maria," and like obviously
He's
probably
crying too.
yeah, crying, and it's just like it's very interesting because like you see this guy who like is just very stoic, shows no emotion whatsoever, cutting down all these people, and it's like these people have families, children, but they're pretty much the same thing. They're all conquerors or invaders.
Like that's his enemy, and he has like this moment of like this very real moment. Like even though they're on opposite sides, he's still a person, and like he was just killed, and he'll never see his family again. And that's something that Thor's, as we find out, he really wants to. He knows all too well just that in war there are no sides or just people, and there's death, and he sees that, and he wants to like shield his family from it, because he has on one side he have his son who wants to go out to fight in war because he's a young boy. He hears the stories of adventure and the stories of Vinland, which we'll know as America, and like Leif Erikson, the great adventurer. And he has his daughter who lives in this world. Like it's like she bemoans about, like, why don't we have a slave? We need someone to do this work, because I don't want to, because they both are living this world that's so far removed from tragedy and horror and victimization. They don't realize the truth of what those matters have, and like why neither of those things are things people should want, because
Yeah.
they're very terrible, consequences to those desires.
I mean, Thor even leaves the battle. Like he falls in the water, stabs a guy, and then just swims back to shore and just walks away. But yeah, I I definitely want to keep up with it.
Yeah.
I think it's very good.
It's definitely a series to watch. It might be a bit harder for some folks to get it, but like I said, it's only on Amazon Prime. But this is a series I've heard just a little bit about, and it instantly caught my eye because just like Viking culture and Viking imagery, it's very interesting for me. And I think this is a series that's well worth your time because if you are the type of person who maybe be a bit worn out by sort of typical anime fare, I can promise you that this is very much something outside the main path of what typical anime is.
Yeah.
And it's also won a lot of awards. It's become highly praised. And even though of course there's like definitely anime moments of like action, like the main guy, like one of the guys cutting off a mask and everybody behind it in half, there's still like a lot of work done into making the sort of setting and the attire and the people there like historically accurate. And there's a lot of detail that goes into it that I would suggest you read the manga because there's just pages of extra information that the author poured into this, and it's well worth your time. It's very informational as well.
Yeah, it looks to be. Yeah.
And I know not everyone got to see all the series, but from what everybody saw, what you think did you like the best, and what you think you will continue to watch or would like to?
For me, out of all the anime, I'd say I'm a good 60-40 on 60%. I like them. 40, not really. But 3 that I'm definitely keeping up with: Fire Force, Dr. Stone, and Vinland Saga. Really want to keep up with that. But my favorite of the 3, definitely going to be Fire Force, because the colors and the animations and the sharpness of everything is just real fucking nice.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Number 1 is Fire Force for me. I love Soul Eater, and I'll probably love this. And then number 2 is Dr. Stone. Number 3 is Vinland Saga. Those are my 3 favorite out of all of it, and I have to keep up with them.
I would probably say of all the ones I would keep up with would be Dr. Stone, and with a close second being Vinland Saga.
And for me, like of course, like everyone else, I'd be Fire Force, Dr. Stone, and Vinland. But it would be probably Dr. Stone first, and Vinland, and Fire Force. They're all very strong contenders for this season, and they're absolutely worth your time. If you have something for people who like a bit more of the classical shonen fare, something a bit more, I guess, experimental with the shonen genre, and then we have something that's very, very much removed from the typical anime fare. And I think if you're sort of a history type, I think you'll enjoy it as well. And like we said, it's a very strong lineup this season with these 3, and they're absolutely worth your time.
Yeah. So, I guess that's it.
Welcome to summer 2019.
So, and that's been the Non-Canon Files. We thank you very much for joining us today. Be sure to follow us on Twitter and Instagram at AYCH Podcast. You can follow us we're on Apple Podcasts, we're on Overcast, SoundCloud, iTunes, Spotify. We have a Twitch channel, twitch.tv.com/AYCH. We have our YouTube channel, which is where all of our Twitch streams live. That's our VOD. You can go back and watch any of our old streams anytime. And you can follow me, Patrick, on Twitter and Instagram at John Lost His Name. You can follow my art on Facebook at John Lost His Name Art.
My name's Jonathan, and bye.
My name's Wenzel. Thank you for listening. You can follow me on Twitter at WinzyWoki. You can follow my art Instagram at World of Winsy. Go see Midsummer.
My name's Colt. Follow me on Twitter at ColtD00, and just send me pictures of anime dogs. Rest in peace, dog, and Dr. Stone.